Right now, you can save 20% off Truck Stop Load Board Pro for 6 months. The best tool for serious carriers. Don't miss out. Click the link in the description to get 20% off Load Board Pro for 6 months. Need capital to grow your business or cover unexpected expenses? Rock Financial has your back. Whether you're looking for a flexible line of credit, a fast cash advance, or tailored working capital solutions, Rock Financial makes it simple to get funded, often in as little as 24 hours. No hidden fees, an easy application, and real support from people who know the business. Ready to take your hustle to the next level? Tap the link in the description to get started with Rock Financial today. Wish insurance was this easy? With LogRock, it's like magic. Real coverage appears when you need it. No tricks. Get covered now. Click the link in the description.
Warning: the following content contains strong language and may not be suitable for children. This content is primarily for adults, as this is a trucking channel and truckers have filthy mouths. Please don't tweak if I say. Viewer discretion is advised.
Sweet.
What's going on? What's going on? Come on in. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Turn on all post notifications. If you are in need of insurance, LogRock is the solution. Whether you're a semi-truck owner, box truck owner, cargo van owner, or gigger, if you are looking for a new insurance package because you're up for renewing, you're looking to save some money, there's a link in the description below for LogRock. All your semi-truck, box truck, cargo van solutions for commercial carriers. If you need commercial insurance, make sure you tap the link in the description below for LogRock and sign up with them today. Come on in, make sure you guys click the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on all post notifications. Let's see what we got going on. Shout out to Pippi. Shout out to all the moderators in the building. Shout out to the MGM gang. Shout out to SD Walk. Shout out to Edie. What's going on? Salam alaikum. What's going on? Shout out to Jason representing the Chris Nib. I would hit my Chicago button, but it got the N-word, and out of respect to the white man sitting up here, I ain't gonna hit it. You did.
Where's the white man at? Oh, me.
You.
Oh, listen. Let me tell you something right now.
You over there. You over there. The white.
Me?
Yeah, you.
I'm albino. Listen, I had to go. I told you I was going to get. We were going to get another kitten, right? Because my wife's her collectibles are kittens.
Mm-hmm.
I drove in a neighborhood that I wasn't even white enough to be in this neighborhood. Just so you know, I wasn't even white enough in that neighborhood. I'm just letting you know that. So I felt out of place. So it was weird. It was wild. It was pretty weird. Okay. Anyways, how's it going, Mark?
I'm blessed, man. What about you?
Good. I see you got the new studio. It's looking even better. It's good. Your mic sounds great. So anybody who's telling your mic sounds out, it sounds good.
It's one guy every video he watches and said, "Man, Mark, appreciate all you do, man. I love the content, but man, your mic is too low." So I don't think he's trolling. I just think maybe he's, sometimes in certain devices, the volume, doesn't pan out. But when I listen to the playback, I listen to it in the car, I listen to it on the TV, I listen to it with the AirPods, I listen to it with the headphones. It sounds fine to me. So
I think it's him. To be honest. I think it's him. Just so you know. It's gotta be him. Because it sounds fine. It sounds perfect. It sounds great. It sounds even better than, like I said, than before. So I don't know. I think it's good. Cool. So basically, I know we're a little bit limited on time today, but I think we can do it in 2 hours. I think we can do this in 2 hours. Mm-hmm. So what I'm going to do is, the last time we had an interview, and there's just so everybody knows, Mark has no idea the questions I'm going to ask. Sometimes I don't even know how the questions I'm going to ask. I just roll with some of them as they go. Last time we did an interview, we basically talked about regards to how you got started, all the way up to basically, when you're doing the moving and the final mile type stuff, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was business sense of it. So one of the things I wanted to kind of talk about today, which I don't think people truly understand, is although the business side and knowing the business and how to properly do business and get customers and that type of business knowledge is important. I
Mm-hmm.
think not a lot of people realize that that's only half of the business. The other half of the business is as you start to hire more and more people, and you topped out at what? How many people did you top out at
Oh,
total?
people, like it's 30 people at one time, so there's people coming and going, but the average about 25, 30, 35 people at a time.
And so 25, 30 people, because I get this all the time, and I laugh sometimes because I only had 8, right? When I was doing drivers and a couple of agents that worked underneath me was only 8.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt that was hard as hell. But what I don't think people realize is that the business aspect is one portion. The babysitting aspect of having 30 employees, we'll go with 25, 30 employees,
Mm-hmm.
is a whole nother world. It's a whole nother world because you're technically responsible for all of them, to be honest, all of them at some point, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even though they're coming and going, you're still responsible for all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear this all the time, but like people call or I'll talk to people even with insurance and stuff like that. And a lot of them will say things like, you know, I'll see that they'll have like 6 or 10 trucks on their FMCSA filing. And I'm like, you just started your DOT's like brand new. You got 10 drivers?
Mm-hmm.
No, but I'm gonna have 10 drivers probably by in 3 months, and we're gonna be okay. Yeah. Have you ever hired anybody before or had employees? No, but everybody wants to work for me and we'll be fine. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of wanted to ask you a couple questions because we went into it a little bit, but I didn't want to go. I wanted to make a separate video of that because it's so much involved in that. Is when people you, people have no idea. They have no idea the difficulty in just handling the employees. Would you say that would be a true statement?
Yeah. I talk about it all the time. I talk about it
So
more. I go more in depth in like the Discord
yeah.
than I do online. But yeah.
So when you first, so I want to your first guy that you hired because I remember you saying you had your pickup truck, and you put an ad
Mm-hmm.
out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was good. Like he knew what to do, and he taught you a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you first were looking for someone, how did you even? What were you even? You just put an ad out. Like when your first, did you have people you didn't even hire,
The
or
first
was he
guy
just
I had his name was Ronell. He was just somebody that I knew that wasn't working at the time. So when that ad went out and somebody called, I had to spring into action and find somebody to go do that first job with me. And he was just the first person. I called him. He said, yeah, I went and picked him up and we did the job. But I realized as I kept doing it, obviously after that first day when those calls were coming, that first bid, and then we did a couch after that, I kept repeating the process. But I realized that, if I'm going to keep doing this, I got to find somebody else. He just wasn't, he just wasn't it. You dig what I'm saying? So I was learning and I was going above and beyond, but it's a two-man thing. And I just realized that he wasn't cut out for it. So that's why I became proactive and put an ad in the gig section on Craigslist seeking a helper. And then a guy named Aaron responded.
right? I remember.
And that's how I met Aaron.
So when Aaron first reached out to you, how did you like? He came to you. He responded. He called you up on the phone. Like, how did that process go? Even that conversation.
He responded to the ad. I told him what I did every day. He told me that he freelanced for different moving companies on Craigslist. This was what he did. He'd get up early in the morning and post the ad, mover for hire.
Mhm.
And when I first when he said yeah, and then I went and met him. I met him on he told me to meet him on 95th, and And the Dan Ryan used to be a Polish spot right there, right before you get on the expressway called Maxwell's. And I picked him up there the first day. We went up north. We did the jobs, and the first job I did with him, it was like day and night. From what I had used to been dealing with Ronell. Like, this guy was 6 foot something. He was stronger than me, and he was more knowledgeable than me because he had already been doing moving, and I was learning it. So I was learning shit from him. So I quickly realized after that first move, man, I need you. Like, man, like, I'm finna cuff you, bro. Like, I don't need you to post no more nothing on Craigslist, man. You with me. Whatever I need to do. And that's how it was. I realized right away, like, I got a cuff buddy. And that's what I did.
Yeah, how old was he?
How old was he?
How old was
me and him were the same age. He was the same age. We were both born in 1980. Same age.
19. Yeah, but you looked like 12, right? At that point, right? Pretty much. How old were you looking at?
It was 2010. I was 30, so I looked like probably 17 at that time.
So so did he immediately, like, at that point, did he know, like, did you, and I think this is a big hard thing too, is people do they know who the boss is and who the boss isn't? Did he already kind of know that? Was that role already taking place?
I picked him up. I was dealing with the customer and I was paying him. So yeah, he knew who the chief was. He wasn't getting the jobs. He wasn't collecting them. Like, all the work to get the jobs to pay him, that was all coming from me. Yeah, he knew that. That was cut and dry.
But they're not always like that, though, are they? A lot of times people come in, all of a sudden
Never had nobody that I hired and thought that they was the boss.
Really? That's impressive.
Hell no. Why would you? Well, like, what type of shit is that? You come in on the higher tip and you think you running some stuff? I ain't never had that issue. You seen that before?
Yeah, someone tried it. Yeah, someone tried it with my role. Came in as a driver, which I hired them, and then they wanted to tell me how shit was going to go. They didn't last long.
What do you mean? Like, they wanted to run the business or tell you how they wanted to do stuff within the business?
No, they told me how we're going to talk to the customers, how we're going to tell the customers, and how things are going to happen and things like that. And I'm like, oh, no, you're not. No, you're not. That was my first problem I had, basically, with one of the coming in and hiring my first drivers. One of my first driver came in and said, well, this is how you're going to talk to the customer, and you're going to tell them this, this, and this. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think so, Tim. I don't think so, bro.
No, I never had that happen.
None of your guys had that?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, that's pretty impressive, bro. I ain't gonna lie. So then so every job, and then he was the one that, because I remember you talked a lot about him. I didn't know he was the same age as you. I thought he was, for some reason, I thought he was older. Mm-mm. So then when you moved up with him, when did you start to get to like a 2-man crew?
Me and him was 2 men.
I mean, no, an additional person with you. So a 3-man crew.
The next summer. The next
summer, rolling into more people. So how did?
Yeah, go ahead.
How did you hire that next person? Like, where did that come from?
Neighborhood. So once the next summer came and we were running, we were still in the avalanche, and I'm just like, I don't know, the light bulb just popped in my head, because I had got really good at Tetris, packing a pickup truck, especially not a full size pickup truck. And I'm just like, man, there's got to be an easier way. And then one day I just saw a Penske truck and the light bulb just popped in my head. Like, man, I wonder if I rent a Penske, how much would it cost? And then you got to understand, I'm making $500-600 a day in the pickup at that time. So when I called Penske and they told me a 16-footer, I think at that time was $225 and 10-cent a mile, $225 for the week, 10 cents a mile, $5 a day for the insurance. I'm like, that's it? Coming to get that. So I went and rented a 16-footer, and the first move we did in the 16-footer, it was like day and night, because now obviously we gonna pack the truck right, but like we got so much room to move around and play with versus that pickup truck, and it just saved time and was able to increase the jobs more.
So when you hired that second guy, now so there's 3 of you.
Appreciate
that.
Did you super chat?
When you started to put him in there, did you put an ad out for that one, or you just found him in the neighborhood also, or was he
So the next groups of guys just came from the neighborhood, and then like You hire one guy from the neighborhood, then another guy comes, man, so and so want to work. Yo, so and so want to work. So and so want to work. So once I had that 16-footer down packed and those calls were still coming in, then that's when I'm like, yo, I'm gonna bring somebody else in. And then I brought another team in. But it was people from the neighborhood. You know, this is 2011 at that time. We in a recession. You know, like I always say, there's no gig economy. It's a lot of brothers in the neighborhood that can't get opportunities. They got felonies, shit like that. So, like back then, it was like either you worked a job, you sold dope, or you didn't just do nothing. You was a bum. You know, so you know the undesirables, right? The people with felonies that at that couldn't get work, right? They did one of a few things. They either did moving or roofing or landscaping. Landscaping is dominated. You know, it's monopolized by Hispanics in this market. So unless you're starting your own landscaping thing, you just not gonna walk on to a Hispanic landscaping company and think you're gonna get an opportunity. Same thing with roofing. So a lot of the brothers fell into the moving uh thing. And it was just easy for me to get people because it was just so many people in the neighborhood that just didn't have shit going on. And I never like a lot of those people in the early days, like I didn't have to never really go out and source people because I was always somebody needed work, or there was always somebody that was already on that said, "Man, I got somebody that want to work. Man, I got somebody that want to work. I got somebody want to work." All it took was a person that was working, making some money, going back into the neighborhood. Man, bro, they on. Man, put me on, bro. Put me on. Put me on where you at. Man, send them up here. Because I don't care about your background. I don't care about your felonies. I just need bodies.
So were you at that point checking any of the backgrounds? Did any background make you
I don't
nervous?
care what they did. I don't care. As long as it wasn't like no freaky kitty, like that type of shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Then most of the guys from the neighborhood, it was either drug convictions or like gun possession. I had a guy that attempted murder, shit like that. So yeah, shit like that.
I mean, they all had driver's license. Probably they still had to drive, or
No, not everybody had driver's license. That was a feat. A lot of guys from the hood didn't have license. They don't have child support issues. You can't get a license. You know, mess their license up early on in life. You know what I'm saying? Can't get a license. So bodies was easy to get. People was easy to get at that time. It was hard getting a person with a license. You know what I'm saying? So, but you know, it was hard, but it was people that still had licenses and shit. So like
So
Aaron,
was there?
the first guy I had Aaron didn't have a license. Aaron didn't have a license throughout the tenure with me. He was with me at least 10, with me about 10 years.
He never got a license.
Had a license. He was one of the person that took the bus to work every day. So throughout the beginning, I would pick him up, right? And then once I came off the truck and we went to the yard, he would have to take the bus to the yard, or whatever chick he was dealing with at that time would drop him off and pick him up. So he never had a license, never had a car.
So were you paying basically just off, under the table type, basically 1099? Here's your money at the end.
Beginning, yeah, because we were under the table. When I became, licensed and legit, then no, W-2.
And then so once you went W-2, was there any background checks ever? Like, how did you know somebody? Let me ask a question. How did you know that somebody wasn't going to end up robbing somebody?
Like a customer?
Yeah, like a customer.
They weren't finna do that. They knew better.
Did you ever have an issue with it?
No, we never had theft.
I mean, I'm not talking about breaking stuff, but actual theft. Like, obviously, break something.
Never had one issue with theft because there's going to be repercussions behind that. Now, if you coming to work for my company, then you represent me, right? So you can't go into a customer's home. See, you looking at one thing in regard. So the way they would come in and the level of respect they may not have for somebody, they may have a level of respect for somebody else because of who they may be affiliated, who they are, so on and so forth. You can't come to my company and then go out and rob people because it's going to be repercussions. There's been situations where guys have come back and got 100, 200, 300, $400 tip because they flipped up a mattress and there was money under there. I remember a guy, he did a move and a lady had an envelope full of money buried. You know what I'm saying? And forgot, people stash money all over the house. It fell out. He turned it in. She called the office and wanted to recognize them for their honesty. It was a few times that have happened. You know what I'm saying? So no, guys are honest. Regardless of their background, people can change. Some people just need an opportunity. And then granted, there's people that just have a background and they know who to pull it with and who not to. I never had to tell nobody, don't go do this. What's known don't need to be explained. You know what I'm saying? So people just knew how to act. If you coming in, and the beautiful thing about the referral process, when if I hire a guy, right, and he says, Mark, I got somebody that want to work, he's responsible for that guy, right? So ain't nobody going to refer somebody that's going to mess they situation up, right? And then that person is going to have respect for the person that put them on. So it's not something that never had to be discussed. Yeah, some of these people will probably get out on somebody in real life, but here, nah, we all working together. So-and-so put you on and you not going to, do nothing to jeopardize this person. Because if I bring a person on because you referred them and they do some goofy shit, I'm holding you responsible because you brought him around. Right. So in certain situations, what's known don't need to be explained. Ain't nobody never did no crazy shit like that. Never had not one issue with that shit. Never.
So you had all your people basically. Then most of your drivers, the 25 people, were drivers and loaders and stuff. You didn't have.
This is a bunch of people throughout the years. I've run into people all the time. I was at Kitchen and Cocktails. And the security guy was like, you don't remember me? I'm like, hell no. He was like, I used to work for you. You had me doing Office Depot. You fired me. Shit, I'm thinking like this motherfucker finna spit in the food or some shit. Now I'm nervous. You see what I'm saying? But he was like, no, I was good. I just couldn't get the job done. And they were pressuring you and you came to me straight for him. You was like, man, I gotta let you go. I didn't even remember this dude. Obviously he worked for me because he told me my whole layout. But over the course of years, people gonna come and go. You might have a guy that might come work one day and quit, a week, 2 weeks. So I don't remember everybody, but yeah.
Do you ever have anybody get into fights within the crew?
Yeah.
Or was it?
Yeah, you got men doing final mile and men doing moving. It's a lot of testosterone. So you got people from different mobs. You know what I'm saying? Across the city, everybody ain't a part of the same mob. So, that was a situation, tackle too, how you place people with certain people, who's working on the truck with who's from this mob versus that mob. Can these two people get along? This person, he owe, something and he just standing on certain shit and he ain't honoring shit. Hey, Mark, dude ain't listen to us. The new dude, but yeah, he not listen to y'all because he under the old act and he ain't really respecting y'all, but he don't understand that, yo, you just got out this business and man, your stripes don't mean nothing here. These may be shorties to you, but these shorties are more knowledgeable than you on this. You was referred, you was recommended, come here. So now you gotta fall in line. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, it was fights, it was all shit happened, bro. It's just what it is. And it's not Go ahead. No, you got
it. How many calls were you getting on? Was that happening often?
Not happening often, but it happens. You're gonna have arguments. You're gonna have people that are frustrated, especially on the moving side. Like you're gonna have some jobs where it just gets frustrating, and they're gonna be frustrated at each other, and the communication is gonna get lost. So you've had there was some situations that arose where it got ugly.
Can you remember one?
I remember one specific one.
All right.
Guys on the truck. This particular guy had just got out of jail. He just did a 10-year bid from an older generation, about my age at that time, maybe about a few years older than me. So he was in his late 30s at that time. So he's under he's I'm trying to explain it to you where you ain't gonna understand it, but
God.
he's a person who okay, I'm just gonna be straight because I'm trying to, but forget it. Let me just, he's an old Blackstone. I had
Gotcha.
him on the truck with two folks. These is two GDs, and he's a Blackstone. These are younger,
Okay.
but they are good moving. These are young killers. Like, when I call them killers, not because they're actually killers, but from the moving perspective, these dudes is young, hungry killers. Like, they gonna get to it. They ain't no claims. They with it all. Man, Mark, we out here. We can do 3 moves. We want all the money. You dig what I'm saying? So these are guys that's showing up to work, but they GDs. You're Blackstone. He just got out of jail, but he's 10 years, 12 years older than him. So he's not really respecting the fact that he has to take delegation from the truck lead, which was James. He wasn't respecting it. He wasn't respecting it because of the fact that it was younger than him, and he's still under the old act where, man, dude, that's a GD. I'm not looking at it like that. I'm looking at it like, bro, Dre told me you needed work. I'm letting you work. I need you on this truck to be muscle and lift shit and do what he tell you to do because he knows what to do. He's been with me a couple years. The other dude know what to do. They've been with me a couple years. They younger than you. You got to listen to them. I don't care about the fact that they younger than you and you from a different generation and they on the other side. Like, I don't care about none of that. But he still did. He's institutionalized. You see what I'm saying? So he's coming from the jail system where downstate, you know, he can't sit at the same table with them. So let alone be on the truck with them. You see what I'm saying? So, and he's from an older generation where there's still structure in his mindset, where the younger generation at this time, this is the shift has already positioned, but in the real world, but not in the jail system. You see what I'm saying? So he just wouldn't listen to this guy. He wouldn't listen to nobody. So I moved him to different truck. He wouldn't listen. There was only one dude he would really fall in line with, and that was the dude that referred him. And people would say, man, if Mark, they would say, man, if he said you ain't telling him, then he ain't gonna listen. And I'm like, bro, I can't, if you on a truck with somebody, there's a lead on the truck, you can't tell them what Mark didn't say. I'm not on the truck, bro. That's why the lead is on the truck. The lead is me when y'all out in the field, right? I can't be there to be like, all right, man, you get the boxes. All right, man, you wrap the car. I'm not there. What do you mean, the marketing tip? Like, dude, you're there. The lead is there. The lead is going to tell you what to do. He just wasn't respecting no matter what truck I put him on. So he got to a point one day where, and I probably should have let him go sooner because I should have realized after 2 or 3 talks with him, he just couldn't do it, bro. He was too institutionalized and he was too caught up in gang culture from the older days that he just couldn't do it. And it just happened one day. It was him and the 2 GDs and they arguing on the move. He not listening to them. It's unbeknownst to us back at the office that this is going on. All right. The job is over with. They had like 3 jobs that day. So I think my brother, somebody realized on the GPS that the truck was headed back south instead of going to the next job. And either we called them to see why or they called in, but I remember a call came to the office. Either way, I don't know if it was we called or they called, and they arguing on the truck, and they like, man, dude ain't listening. We hearing them arguing, and I'm like, bro, how the fuck are y'all arguing like this on the truck? And the arguing that it's to the point where they talking about shooting. And I'm like, bro, y'all can't be arguing and this shit ain't that serious. How are y'all arguing on the truck? You on the expressway arguing, so you driving. I'm like, where's he? Is he in the middle? Is he on the passenger side? He on the passenger side. So it's these 2 dudes arguing with him. Well, he's driving, I'm sorry, and they on the passenger side arguing with him. He driving. So whole time, they headed back to yard. This ain't gonna work. They can't finish out the day. So now I'm trying to figure, something out. Now, I don't know that one of the dudes on the truck done made a call.
Mm.
So I'm in the office. I'm always looking at the cameras. So my desk is here. You've seen my desk, right? At the office, right? When we went through the journey and I showed like the shit from that time period, the pictures and shit. So this is my desk. You got the big sofa here, and then I got a big ass TV on the wall with all the fucking cameras. Every camera channel. So I see some people pull up in the front parking lot that look familiar. But I just don't understand why they here. I know who these guys are, but why are they here? Next thing I know, I see the truck. They're in the one of the moving trucks. So this is a wrap truck flying through a yard. It comes up, boom, flies through the yard. It don't pull into the parking spot. It flies through the yard, past the office trailer, goes in the back of the yard, makes a U-turn, right? They get out. He leaves the yard and flies out and make a left down the street. So now we come out the office like, what the fuck is going on? One of the dudes called them up here to move on him. He wasn't finna get out the truck because he don't know if they was finna kill him. He didn't know what they was finna, if they was beat his ass. But I'm upset now because I'm like, man, you call these people up here to demonstrate, bro, this is a place of business. He wasn't trying to hear that shit. You know, some people get off on this shit. Like the business, my business, like none of that shit mattered. He ended up calling me like 3 minutes later. He parked the truck like about 3 or 4 blocks down and left the keys under the mat. He just wasn't finna get out because he seen that it was people up there to get out on him. So he left the truck a few blocks down. We went down there and got the keys, and that was it. I just couldn't deal with him no more, and that was it.
But that could have went real bad if the guy decided.
And there was some things that, got physical. There was some incidents, you know what I'm saying? But that was one of the ones that, it could have really went there because it was people called up there. So it wasn't just contained to a yard scrap between two, this is something like, all right, people coming up there, they not coming up there to talk it out, bro. So
I'm not there to talk it. But this is a situation that, like you just said, could have went very bad and probably could have ended your business in a very, very bad way if it would have got bad, right? I mean, the lawsuits alone that could have possibly happened because of the situations.
I mean, if you do something to somebody else, they ain't got nothing to do with me. I mean, the city of Chicago has an ordinance that if there's a shooting at your place of business, normally nightclubs, they set you down and then you got to go in front of the city council and explain how you can prevent this from happening again before they let you open back up. But I'm not a nightclub. So they do that at nightclubs. That's how nightclubs, if you a nightclub here in Chicago and you have one situation, it don't even have to be inside the club. It could be outside the club. It could be 3 blocks away. If they came from the club, that's it. You lose your license. But I'm not a nightclub, so it wouldn't have. If they want to bang it out, that's on them. Yeah, it would have been probably a stain, but shit, that's on them.
How many people do you think you've had to terminate?
A lot. The guy I ran into in Kitchen and Cocktails, I had to fire him.
Did you find that, like, that's another thing that I think I didn't have an issue with it, but even letting some people go, when to let them go, making that decision, be like, well, I feel bad for the guy or stuff like that. Like, did you ever finding a difficult time firing people?
Mm-mm. Like, what do you mean difficult? Like it hurt my heart or something like that? Like it?
Nothing hurt your heart.
About it.
Did I just meet you, Mark? Do you think I just met you today? Not hurt your heart, but in regards to, like, didn't know.
So it was very difficult to get fired because I had a system, right?
Okay,
like I just didn't fire people just to be firing them. You know what I'm saying? Like I had a system where, I'll just give you a week to think about it.
That was your system?
Yeah.
That's it? I'll give you a week to think about
fired. Yeah.
it. I'll give you a week to think about it. That's it? We're done here?
Because I'm cutting off your water.
I see what you're saying. And usually they're coming back saying, realizing either what they did wrong or they just don't come back.
They come back because you gotta understand these are what society considers the undesirables. These are the people that society won't give a second chance to, and I'll give them an opportunity. So I have this in mind, but there are repercussions for your actions. So I wasn't quick to fire people. I would just, if you piss me off, and there's a guy that came up, one of my own employees, and when he ventured off, he said, he's like, man, I thought Mark was an asshole until when I went out and did my own thing, and I had to deal with people, and I see why he wasn't an asshole. And I learned from him. I called it playing with people's money, not playing with their money like I wasn't paying them.
Right.
I'm gonna play with your bread, meaning, all right, bet. You know what? Take tomorrow off. I'll get you some rest, bro. I'm not telling them I'm on that with them. Get you some rest, bro. Call me. They call tomorrow. Mark, what time you want me to come in tomorrow? Man, take another day off. Man, get you some rest, bro. I got you. Third day, same shit. Fourth day, same shit. Until I feel like I'm cool. Yeah.
So you're not getting angry at you're not putting yourself in a position to get angry or emotional. It's just take
No,
some time.
I'm angry. That's why I'm giving them a week to think about it. It's not like I'm cussing them out. I'm just like, man, I'm take tomorrow off. And they just don't know tomorrow gonna be the next week.
Next week. Did any of them ever ask, hey man, when are you bringing me back? Oh.
So normally by like day 5, they'll call, and I've had guys call crying. Swear for God, everything I love. Yeah. Crying tears. It's usually like around 10:30, 11 at night. They call. They can't take it no more.
And they thought it through, and they were wrong, and they're ready to come back.
It's just your water cut off. This is your resource. See, so you gotta understand, like a lot of these guys that do this type of work, they're not good with money. So even though they're not getting paid every single day, this type of work, like moving and final mile, the customers are tipping them. So they could easily make $100, $150 a day a piece in tips. So the tip money is what's holding them over to pay, which is good money, right? So boom, you get your tip, boom, you make $125 in tip, boom, you got enough money to go get your drink after work. You got enough money to go get your tray 5. And you might be able to shoot a couple games of dice in the neighborhood. And then you back at work the next day. This is why guys was very, very serious when it came to them tips. This is why they went out and did an efficient job, because, they're trained to be efficient and do a great job. But, once they realize, man, this is a high tip business and I can still make $100, $200 a day in tips, now that's incentivizing them to go above and beyond and be respectful. See, I don't have to tell these people what's known to be explained. They're going to do it because they're trying to get the tip. You see what I'm saying? So if I give you 5-6 days off in a row, that's potentially $750, $800 that you probably missed in tips that you take every day and you spend it every day, but you can count on it pretty much every day. You can't count on a tip, but for the most part, these guys is getting about $100 in tips a day.
Plus at the end of the week, they're paid.
Plus they get paid at the end of the week, but these tips is what's holding these tips after work. They tray 5 money. They can go get them a 6-pack. They can go get them from whatever they drink is, a 5th of fucking Thunderbird or whatever this shit is, whatever they vice is. They can go get it. They have cash on hand that they can go get it.
So there's another one too. Did you ever have issues with anybody either drinking or doing stuff on the job?
No. Now, Mid 2010s, I had an issue with the weed. And I think a lot of people had that issue. So a lot of these guys that smoke weed, they just can't. So we tried to stop it as much as we could, but it's a culture. A lot of people smoke weed, so I tried to get people to tell. It's just nobody would tell because
Yeah.
So we caught who we could catch. We did the investigation that we could do. We did pop-ups on some people, but that's a culture that is, if you at scale in any facet, and that weed thing is, so
How'd you handle that?
it's between jobs. They'll do a move and they'll probably hit the blunt. You know what I'm saying? You just try to catch it. You know what I'm saying? You do. So at first, them early years, I did drug testing.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, and then as the culture began to change, I laxed on the drug testing as far as the marijuana is concerned. Especially when it became legal. It's just like,
yeah, what am I gonna do?
Now, for the final mile side, it was treated differently, right? Because they have to test for whatever the 3PL is, right?
Right.
Sometimes I was able to skate by, right, on the guys that couldn't do the 3PL work if they needed extra people. This is like during the Wild Wild West days. Then I could have a couple crews that have gone through the background and drug tested. And then if they allow me to add on more trucks, I can just add them on without drug testing these extra guys because they needed people and they just didn't inquire about running these new people that I got going on these add-ons, and they just never circle back around. These were the Wild Wild West days. You can't get away with that nowadays.
So what would happen if you
But for the moving side, nah, because I don't, I didn't have to answer to nobody. It was just, my shit.
And so what would happen if when you would catch them? What was the thought process?
I would have a nice line. You can't be smoking in between jobs. Then if it became a repetitive situation, then I took them off the schedule. Gone.
And then but the final mile stuff, those are different crews. The moving ones.
Different crews, and for the most part, a lot of the 3PLs, they background check. So they background check me, right, to get the contract, master contractor, and then every crew has to go through a background check. So drug testing and background check for the final mile side.
And the drivers know that? The drivers knew that though too, right? When they were hiring on to do the job?
For what, the final mile?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I told them they got to go to Concentra and take a test.
Gotcha. I hope you studied. So then later on, though, I remember in the last one, which I wanted, but you had we talked about it for a second ago, a disciplinarian. It was the word we decided to go with. Why was he needed? And what made that? How did that come about?
So as you grow, you make more money, and you got a bunch of people working for you that's wolves. Eventually, a wolf's gonna bite. There's gonna be somebody in that pack of wolves they're gonna try you, right? So if you're a person who's steady growing, and you from a certain environment, what's known don't need to be explained. If I continue to build and grow and grow and grow, eventually somebody's gonna try me. It's just not. It's gonna happen, bro.
From within the group or without outside,
Just
even outside the group?
Period, bro. It's inevitable, especially from this walk of life. They're gonna start counting your pockets, and if it's not coming directly from within, it's gonna come because people running their mouth, and it's gonna come from the outside. So if I want to continue to build, I have to focus on this. So if I'm go from 1 to 3 to 5 to 7 to 8 to 9,
To a
and these
building.
people are out and they seeing the money coming in, eventually somebody they gonna try to play. They gonna try it. It's just inevitable. It's inevitable. So you get to a point where when you get to a certain level of success coming from where I come from, if you want to continue to focus on the money, you got to have somebody there to watch your back. Because when it comes, 9 times out of 10, it's going to come from within. And I knew that, so I didn't wait to be reactive. I was proactive because I knew where I was at and I knew where I was headed because I knew where I wanted to get to, and it's just inevitable. And I know you don't understand this because you don't come from where I come from, but
Oh, for the love of God, listen. I
staring
get.
it, so
Listen. I get. Listen. Tell the white guy. No, listen. I understand. Right? Have I lived it? No.
Mhm.
But then where did you decide to? Because your trucks were wrapped, right?
Not all of them.
Did they? And then were you guys wearing like any type of uniforms or anything like that? I mean, did they know? People would know your trucks pretty much. The ones that were wrapped, obviously,
Yeah,
but
because the wrapped ones and then the ones that were white, they got the placards on the side with the company, the MC, the ICC number, DOT number.
so did anybody mess when they knew it was you though? What I'm saying is also, did anybody start to mess with the trucks at that point?
Like employees, I never had employees mess with the trucks. I've had people like crackheads or whatever on some of the 16 footers a couple of times cut the catalytic converters.
So
Yeah.
did
I've had some break-ins where, they hit the catalytic converters a couple of times. One time they broke in and stole some catalytic converters, and some of the drivers that didn't lock the doors that night, they popped the hoods and stole the batteries and shit like that. But yeah, I
so
mean, it's gonna happen. I'm in
like
the inner city. I'm in Chicago, so like your 16 footers, your catalytic converters are gonna get cut from time to time. If you leave the doors open, even if you don't, they're gonna steal the batteries. They stole the batteries from Ron, one of the tenants that was on the yard. They stole his batteries while he was on the truck sleep in his semi truck.
sorry, that's pretty impressive. Um, so it's not other crews that are doing it also.
No, these are hypes. This is the city, bro. Like shit like that gonna happen. You're gonna have hypes that steal batteries. You're gonna have hypes that steal catalytic converters because of its platinum in there.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? This is just what they do. This is a part of inner city living, bro. It's inevitable. It's gonna happen. And that happened a couple times. I think it happened to me 3 times.
So then where? Let me ask this. Let me go back then. Where did you find your, let's say, enforcer? Let's use the enforcer. Where did you find the enforcer?
But I didn't have to find him.
He came to you.
I said, this is what I need you to do.
Well, how did you meet him?
He one of the guys.
Oh, he's one of your movers.
No, he's one of the guys.
Oh, what? Sorry.
One of the guys.
He basically said you. So then you went to him and you said, "This is what I need you to do going forward."
This is what I need you to do. I'm gonna bring you in here as a fleet manager, which I need you to do the fleet shit. This is what the scope of the work is gonna be, but you really know why you here, bro. He said, all right, bro, say less. And that was it.
Say less.
Mm-hmm.
Was he ever needed?
Yeah.
As
Mm-hmm.
can you elaborate on that without putting yourself in any type of incriminating situation? Or him?
I'm trying to think of a situation that's just the one just make me look like Suge Knight, but
Yeah, just so you know, I do know who that is.
um it was a meeting one time, and he was a person that was people feared, you know what I'm saying? And It was a company meeting, and there was this one guy. I just didn't really care for him. He didn't care for me, but he was a good mover. And he spoke out of turn. It's a company meeting. And this motherfucker was just like, man, shut the fuck up, man. Don't you hear bro talking? Now, where I'm from, that's like fighting, like you just hold him in front of a room full of grown men. So everybody's eyes got like this, and he just, because now what you gonna do? Shut the fuck up.
And he didn't say nothing.
No, it was in his best interest not to say nothing. He shouldn't have said nothing anyway, because I was talking, he cracking jokes and shit like that. So
I gotcha. So was there ever a time that the wolves came financially on you? Did you ever? I mean, did anybody ever try to take any of your money?
hell no.
Because you cash, right? Your cash would come back.
Yeah. Back in them days, we was still taking cash. Yeah. Hell no. Never had no issue like that.
You never. That's amazing. I ain't gonna lie. That's amazing.
Bro,
I mean, I never.
people will pull it with people they can pull it with. Now, I'm not saying I'm this, but it's certain people that you can do things to, and there's certain people you can't. It may not be them, but it may be the people around them. You see what I'm saying? But if you run in a business like this, where you're dealing with people from this walk of life, you cannot be a pushover, bro. You cannot be, bro. Because once they get you the first time, you'll never get your shit back, bro. It's a wrap. You won't get it back. And what I mean by the moment they see any flex in you, then that's it. Period.
No, I agree. I agree. I'm just shocked, and like I said, that running the cruise that you did, that you never had a push like that at all.
Why would somebody steal money? Yeah, it happens, but it's never happened to me.
Oh yeah, because it happens. You know what I mean? Because to even
but you know, here's the thing. People do things to people that they know they can get away with it. And I'm pretty sure people were tempted, but you know, there's repercussions behind shit. A lot of the people that came from the neighborhood. And then there were people that they might have brought in that may have not came directly from the neighborhood. But you know, there's people up there that like my brother there. He ain't nobody to play with.
Yeah, but he came later though.
He was there around 2015, 2016 too. Like 2015, 2016. So he ain't nobody to play with neither. So I can focus on this shit because these two people, they not for none of that, bro. That money coming back. They not for none. I don't have to do that shit because they ain't going. I can focus on the bread.
So what was the hardest thing that you feel I mean, because there had to be, I mean, you might say nothing, but what was the most difficult thing for you to deal with on the driver's side, on the employee side?
The people, bro, dealing with the people and the personalities and the personalities, bro. Like dealing with the envy, bro, the hate.
Can you, like what? Give me examples.
The jealousy, the envy, bro. You gotta understand. Some of these people were with me from very, very early on, from the pickup truck and the rental truck days, and they watched this thing grow. The day I got the office, the week I got the office, like you could feel that shit, bro. You could cut that shit with a knife, bro. When the office, that trailer first came,
yeah,
the office trailer, okay. By Saturday, I think I went to Micro Center after we got all the trucks off Monday. I mean, that Saturday, I went to Micro Center throughout that day, and I got all the computer shit. By the time, no, I had it. I went and got it the day before, but it was set up. by the time the truck started coming back that day. So when they came back in and everything was set up, the dispatch and operations office was set up, all the computers, all the screens. My office was set up. You seen how my office was set up for screens.
Yeah.
This Rob came like later the next week and did all the cameras. So now, wow, this is really turned into, so jealousy and envy, because some of these guys was like, man, I was with this dude when he was coming out of Avalanche. We was renting trucks. So this money being made because they looking at all these computers and shit like that. And they start counting your pockets. So when they came back, like the tension was, I had 2 arguments, bro.
What were
Motherfucker
the
made up
arguments?
2 different fucking scenarios. Dumb shit. I can't even remember. I just remember that day. These motherfuckers, Dre and this other nigga named he was a Muslim dude, black dude. Just wanted to argue because they hate, bro. Like you all day, you walk in and you see this shit. Now you angry all of a sudden? Nigga shit, bro. Excuse my cause you ain't black, but this is the type of shit you gotta deal with.
So how did you, what was the way that you dealt with that type of stuff? Like, how would you portray, when they were coming with this, what was your response to them?
Man, get the fuck on with that shit. Get the fuck on, bro. I don't wanna hear that shit. Whatever it was, I knew where it derived from because damn, motherfuckers angry all of a sudden. You in the yard, I hear you in the yard pulling up, key and ha. You walk in, and now all of a sudden it's angry, because you damn. Oh no, he getting too much money. Nigga shit.
So did a lot of them, did you have any of them like leave and try to do their own thing, or
Yeah.
how'd that?
One of them came on the show and talked about it. He came on one of the early when I first created content. He found my channel because I think he wanted to come back in, and I was doing a live stream and he was in the chat trolling, and man, I'm like, who is this? And he said, Rob. I dropped the link and he came up.
And he's like, wow, this is so easy.
No, he came up and he talked. He said, man, I work for Mark. He was a fucking asshole, but I really didn't realize why he was an asshole until I tried to go out, ask a question, and do my own thing. But he said it. He said, man, I got up to 8 trucks. I got to give him his props. I got up to 8 trucks because I mirrored his blueprint. He just couldn't sustain it. He ended up having to come back and work for me.
So what about training? How did you handle training?
Early, you had to come on my truck and I trained you. And then once I got to the point where I was not on the truck anymore, then you had to go through one of the training crews.
Oh, you had crews for training.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. So it was like Dre, KT, pretty much my trainer Dre and KT. They would have to go on their truck because in them days, these was the killers. Like they was gonna break you. And they was gonna come back, he ain't cut. Or man, he gonna be all right. He gonna be okay. Some people, he ain't gonna make it. Go ahead and get rid of his ass. We can keep him. We'll keep him. He'll be good for like the boxes and shit like that. But when it come to like heavy shit, like arm wars and shit like that may be difficult in tight situations and shit, he ain't got the upper body strength to maneuver it. But he good for this, good for that. Or you might want to try him on the final mile side. So they'll go through the training crew and then they'll come back and let me know, should we go final mile? Should we go moving? If he's going to say moving, what should he do? Is he going to be a killer? This, that, and the third, or just get rid of him?
Because that's another thing I don't think people understand. Well, you had a caller on one of your last shows that basically was concerned about what if he's not doing, I think he said something like, what if he's not doing, and you're like, well, you train him to do what you want him to do. And I don't think, do you think, how many people that came in knowing exactly how to do it? Probably very few that knew exactly what they needed to do when you started bringing people in, right? Most of them had to still be trained, even if they thought they knew.
Everybody has to be trained, even the ones that came from other moving companies. I remember it was a moving company here. I was talking to the guy in the Discord earlier where that moving company, they staged a walkout because they was trying to get the company to go union. They was trying to unionize. And there's guys that wasn't with all that striking and walk out and not getting paid. So they started going to other companies, and I got like 10 of them came over to my company. But, you know, they were all Hispanic, and my company was predominantly black. And then that was a whole nother thing. I took them on, but, you know, that was a whole nother thing.
And what was that? So when training, like, what was the main thing they would do? Like, what's the difference between when you would train them to do? What would be something you would train them to do?
Just train them to the scope of work. So for the moving side, you have to go through a rigorous moving training. You got to know how to, one, go in and assess a place. You got to learn how to pack a truck. You got to learn how to wrap things. You got to learn how to use the dolly, the four-wheeler. You got to learn how to use shoulder straps. You got to learn how to use hump straps. You got to learn how to carry things. You got to learn how to wrap things. So every aspect of the business, you're being taught that from day one. On the final mile side, depending on the contract. If you was on IKEA, you got to learn IKEA. If it's Office Depot, Office Depot. If it's Lowe's, it's Lowe's. If it's Baba Baby, if it's World Market, if it's Dick's Sporting Goods, you got to learn how to assemble ellipticals and treadmills and stuff like that. So it all depends on what aspect of the business you're going to be placed in would determine the type of training that you would receive. On the moving side, you'd be with the training team for a week if you can last, because you're not just training with, you're training with, like, KT, he's an older guy, but like you would think this dude was 20 something. This dude was at that time was 40 something, just impeccable shape, running stairs. He's one of them type of guys. You don't find guys like this no more. That's why I'm blessed and thankful that when I came in, we were still in a culture of guys that just shut up, came to work. He won for none. He don't want to talk to the customer. You had guys that just didn't want to talk to the customer other than hi and thank you if they got a tip. And they was just, man, I'm gonna run the stairs. They ran to the shit that most people will run away from. He ran the stairs. He ain't had no problem running the stairs. He didn't want to. He's like, I ain't with packing no truck. He was the type of guy, street guy, that, you know, good guy, but packing a truck requires too much thought, right? It's thinking that's associated with that as far as shapes and shit. He didn't want to touch that shit. He'd rather run the stairs. He'd rather do something that most people run from. And he wasn't doing no talking. And he ain't slowing down. You can't find people like that no more.
Yeah.
They doing the same thing. These guys is killers. That's why I call them these killers. It's a squad. You gonna run through them. So not only you gonna get the training, you got to be able to keep up with these guys. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, so they gonna give me the real. If you able to keep up with them and they give you the give me the thumbs up, then you one of them guys. I can probably build a team around you. And I did. I remember a guy, Chancey, came in. He was one of the young boys that came in. Tyler brought him in. God, R.I.P. to Tyler. He got killed. But I remember when Tyler brought Chancey, I ran him through Dre and them, and they said, young boy, killer. Yeah, he a killer, man. You put him with us every day. You see what I'm saying? So it all depends on the individual. Some people got it, some people don't. Some people may have a little bit of something and not a lot of something else. So,
any of you ever have an issue with drivers or loaders, any of the crews basically not going well with the customer? Either communicate, basically having an issue with the customer?
No, they knew better.
Yeah, I did.
Go back and forth with no customer.
I had turned to make a guy for that.
Yeah, no, that's ooh, boy, like, ooh, let me tell you, man,
customer.
They're arguing with a customer, boy, that would have been ugly when they would have got back to the yard.
Yeah, I terminated one for that. That was an issue I had with that.
Like that, bro.
Yep.
Going back and forth with no customer, bro. What?
Yep. I just wanted to.
Damn, man, you had a lot of shit happen with you that, man, motherfucker wouldn't thought twice of over in my.
They had to come back to the plant, to you. You see what I'm saying? Like, my guys were over the road drivers, right? So not my agents. I only had a problem with drivers. The agents, basically, that was different. But my drivers were over the road drivers. So I've had drivers open their mouths when they're not supposed to open their mouths. talk money when they're not supposed to talk money, and just shut up. Just shut up. I'll handle it. Go back to the truck. Call me. I'll handle it.
Yeah.
And driver not do that. And then one driver talk money, that they shouldn't have been talking money, and wasn't their job to talk money. It's my job to talk money. And then, but that was the issue I had with them, with drivers, is they don't come back. They didn't come back to my plant. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit different of a, like I said, like, I don't know how, I've only moved a couple times. So the movers I've had with, but I didn't know how that worked, because basically they didn't talk money, right? At that point, they'd call into you.
So the final mile guys, there was no money to talk.
Right. No, the movers.
The moving guys, at the end of the job, they would call in the invoice and we would take care of the payment over the phone. With them, if it was a credit card, obviously the customer, they would hand. So I never let any crew handle the payment on their own. Everything was being watched from the office. So they would have to punch a move in, punch a move out. Punching the move out is calling it in, and we're closing it out from the office. So if it's a credit card, get the card from the customer. They get the card from the customer, like they're going to take the payment, but they're on the phone with us in the office, and we're manually running the credit card from the office. So like the thing a lot of moving companies do that trust their movers, that's how they get ripped off and they get scammed. You know what I'm saying? By giving them too much trust as far as closing moves out on their own. I never did that. You got to run everything through the office. So now once this move is closed, I know this move is done, and y'all headed to the next job, and I see it on the screen. There's no cheating the clock, cheating the system, cutting the clock off while still running it for the customer at half price, and none of that shit going.
So how do you handle claims? Like if somebody busted something?
Depends on the situation, how bad it was, how stupid it was, right? Like it was in the handbook that if you break it, you bought it. But if you watch one of those episodes with old employee, he said, man, Mark always, for the most part, covered a lot of the damages. The company covered the damages. If I deducted something out of your check, it was for something that you did that could have been prevented. So if you scratch a floor and you didn't lay a runner down or anything, then it could have been prevented after investigation. Then you paying for that on both sides of the business. Patch and paint, I never hit nobody for, because that's just a part of the game. You're gonna nick a wall, and it's not that much to patch and paint. But if a mattress, a customer's complaining about a mattress is dirty, did you wrap the mattress? If you didn't wrap the mattress, no. If a leg is broken off a dresser, did you wrap it? If you didn't wrap it the correct way that you were trained, then yeah, you probably gonna have to pay for that. The repair or the new leg, we're gonna have to order a new leg and get it shipped. If you scratched a sofa, did you wrap it? No, the customer said don't wrap it. Okay, but what have I always told you? Don't listen to the customer. Yeah, but man, don't listen to the customer. You gonna do what the customer say, you gonna do what I say. The customer don't control the pay. I do. Fuck the customer. Do what I say. The customer tell you anything until something happens, and they'll switch up on your ass. It's happened to me. And that's why I learned that you can't trust the customer. Man, go ahead. Don't worry about the wall. Don't worry about the wall. We'll patch and paint it. Just get it in. I don't want to send it back. You do it. What about my wall? You said don't worry about the wall. Well, you the professional. I'll never forget it. This is what happened to me. Well, you the professional. What you said don't worry about? Yeah, but you didn't have to do it. You the professional. Guy looked me dead in my face and told me don't worry about the wall. He knew it couldn't fit. Just force it in. And then said, man, well, what about the wall? And that was enough for me to train people going forward. Don't listen to customer. Wrap every single mattress. Don't put no mattress on none of my trucks without wrapping it. Obviously, you're gonna do the search like you've been trained. First thing you do, check the mattresses for bed bugs. Because if they got any sign of bed bugs, turn your ass around, walk back, Don't say shit to the customer. Call the office, and we'll tell the customer why the truck just pulled off on the move and why we're not doing it. We don't want any confrontations. I will take a 1-star review for not to move your bed bug infested house. I don't care, because I know how much it's going to cost to get rid of it. I don't want you to take them home with you. We never had no case. Why? Because I trained. But just in case you miss them or it's early on signs and you can't really see, wrap every single mattress. Don't put no mattress on one of my trucks without wrapping a mattress, box spring. If the customer say don't worry about it, I don't care what the customer say. Wrap every single mattress. Do not put a mattress. If you watch my content, when I talk, movers come up here and they show me their pictures on their Google profile, I go crazy when I see a mattress on a truck that ain't got plastic. I got OCD. I do not know. You better not put no mattress on one of my trucks without wrapping it. I'll fire you for that. I don't play when it comes to that shit, bro. Nasty ass. Yeah, so, training, bro.
This is the stuff that a lot of people that say, I want to hire 12, 15, 20, 30 drivers. They don't think about that. They are now responsible for all of the actions of their drivers. When their drivers mess up, you're paying. Now, you might get the money from the driver, right? But you're paying till it's
for the most part, you're gonna pay. I mean, especially like these two industries that I'm been in, final mile and moving, it's just a lot of liability. Goods, you in a customer's home, so it's just so many opportunities to mess something up. Scratch a floor, nick a wall, smudge a carpet. Anything. Break something. Strip something. You just touching too much. You in and out. It's just too many opportunities for claims. But higher risk, higher reward. This is why it's so profitable. It's just you have to do extensive training to reduce mistakes. But mistakes are going to happen. I don't mind patching paint. It's cheap. I've already given a blueprint on how to do it. Do it yourself. You don't need to hire a handyman. Keep some spackle, keep a putty knife, keep a sand block. 9 times out of 10, when you ask the customer for the color code, they're not going to have it. If you spackle it, tape it, sand it, spackle it, right? With the quick dry shit that you can get at Home Depot, that pink shit, sand it, they're okay with that. They'll say, man, we'll paint it.
Yeah.
And if they got the color code or they want to be sticklers about it, they give you the color code. If it's just a small area, run to Home Depot, get a sample thing of paint, $5-$6, come back, hit it, done, $20. The crew can do that. You train the crew how to do that. It's on the truck. So.
Do you ever have a guy hit a truck? Damage? You ever have a guy damage a truck or hit a car or something?
Yeah, I gave a story about my cousin the other day. That wasn't the only situation, but
what happened there? Say it again. What happened there?
Didn't see that when I talked about
it? I
it?
did. Put it all in one video. Art.
He was coming out of an alley, and like some of the alleys here in Chicago, you can just go from alley to alley to alley, but sometimes the alley like will come to an end like on the block, and it'll be like a one-way street, and you'll come out the alley, but like it'll be cars parked all down the street, and there's always somebody that's parked to the end of the alley where they booty just kind of hanging out, because it's just one of them neighborhoods where parking is just. But either if the car wasn't parked to the edge, there's no way you get in that truck and making that right turn out of that alley. He wasn't going to get out of that alley. He was going to have to reverse back the whole alley and hope he could bag out and turn. He didn't do it. He turned, he wedged, and sure enough, he clipped it. He didn't think nobody saw it. Somebody saw it. They left a note on the car, and the insurance did their due diligence with the plate, contacted who they need to contact, and they got to me. Obviously, they got the plate. They gave me the time. I went to Fleetmatics, see who was driving the truck, because everybody has a fob. They have to log in because the truck is going to keep beeping, the member ID. It was my cousin. I was upset with my cousin because he's family. he could have came straight to me and ain't nothing but $1,000 deductible. That's light shit, bro. You see what I'm saying? But he didn't tell me, so I took his check. And it was right before Christmas. He was going to pay for that deductible. I'm holding him more accountable than I'm holding somebody that came in here off the street. You family. You got to hide. It's $1,000 deductible. Yeah, I'm going to be mad at you. But I'm not going to hit you upside the head. I've had people that aren't family that have done worse and came and said it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This little shit compared to some shit. And these people, hey, Mark, I fucked up. Man, what you do? So, nah, bro, I'm holding you more accountable. Took his check. Yeah, he got a daughter right before, like 3 weeks before Christmas. So, he complaining to the other cousin. He go to one of the cousins that he know got some influence.
Oh, that's not good.
Cuz, let me holler at you, cuz. Man, what's up, cuz? Cuz. It's Christmas, cuz. Man, cuz, what you, cuz, he got a daughter, cuz. He hit somebody's car and didn't tell me. This shit happened like 2-3 weeks ago. Why I gotta hear from it through a press? Embarrassing, bro. They calling me like you didn't know one of your trucks hit a car? I hear you, cuz. Because it's Christmas. So I'm like, well, what about the deductible, G? Who gonna pay for that? Cuz. You got it, cuz. What? All right, back. You know what? All right, back. You know what? Tell him come to the crib. That motherfucker was at my crib in 30 minutes. Came to the crib. I just paid him cash, bro. I was just done with it. He done. I said, cuz I'm gonna pay him his money, man. Because that's my second cousin, right? So my mother is the second youngest, the 8. So like her brothers and sisters are older than her. My mom's mom had 8 kids. My mom is the second youngest. So my uncles and aunts are older than her, right? So my first cousins from that side of the family are older than me. Like my first cousins are like in their 50s and 60s. Because my mom is the second youngest of 8. Right? So I just, I just after that, long story short, after that, I just said, cuz don't because this is one of the cousin that called me, this is his sister's son, which is my first cousin. So he's grown. When they come to me and ask him, man, put him on. I put him on and then he fuck up, but like he fuck up, but then I gotta pay for it.
Yeah.
So no, don't ask me to help nobody else. I don't want to help nobody in the family, bro. Fuck that shit. I'm straight. Don't ask me to help. Don't say cuz. I don't want to hear shit, bro. I'm not doing this shit no more. And that was it.
Where do you think, if not business size, we all know the business and rounding up is difficult, but we all know the business aspect of things. Where do you think people that are starting a business and hiring employees, where do you think they go wrong the most in regards to employees? Like that aspect of it, not the business aspect of it, but where do you think they normally go wrong? If you had to think about it.
It come to employees?
Yeah, like when it comes to like people think they want to hire 10, 15, 20 people. What do you, not a business aspect of understanding like W-2 and payroll taxes and stuff, but where do you think, what is something that you don't think they have any thought or any understanding of when they're on that path?
When people that come and give them this shit that they want to work and man, I'm gonna be here, man, I'm motivated, that's all cap. Like I was talking to the guy in the Discord, like how he was saying, like I think a lot of people expect a lot out of employees. They expect them to go above and beyond. They expect them to kind of operate how they will operate, but ain't nobody gonna operate how you want them or you think them to operate like you operate. They're not gonna give you the same type of work ethic that you're gonna output yourself. And like listening to the guy earlier, I just think a lot of people expect a lot out of people that like, nah, you're not gonna get that. So, especially
So
today,
then,
no.
especially today, definitely not today. It's not the same as it used to be.
I mean, you didn't get it then, but I tell you one thing: you had people value the job more then, right? Because there was less opportunity. Like this gig economy, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. The gig economy has spoiled people. It's made people lazy and complacent. Back when it's either you was no gig economy, there's no opportunity where you can just go on your phone, and if you already signed up with a bunch of apps, you can just cut one or two of them on and wait for a little ding. Then you had to go out and really get a job where you had to get your ass on the bus, get there and go punch a clock, put a uniform on. And like that required discipline. This shit don't really require discipline. This shit made people lazy. You know what? Fuck it. Do I want to go DoorDash right now? I'll just wait till later. They wait till the very last minute when some bill come up and then now they under pressure and they DoorDashing their ass off. But when you got to be somewhere every day, Monday through Friday, or whatever your schedule is at a specific time, and you have to be there, and if you're not there on time, they're going to reprimand you. Yeah, man, people ain't got that discipline no more because shit like this has made them lazy. When that's the only thing that exists, then you got to make it happen, because if you can't make this shit happen, then you're going to be out here fucked up. This gig shit has made fuck people up. They don't want to admit it. They hate when I say it, but that's why they ain't got shit. Because they have no discipline. So, and I'm just this straightforward person that's gonna break it down. I can break it down and explain to you why, like I just did. It's that gig shit makes people lazy because you can cut it on when you want. You can't cut on be here at 9 when you want. Nah, you gotta be there at 9. We don't give a fuck if you got a car or not. Hop your ass on the bus. You got people now say, man, I can't get a job because I ain't got no car. What? Man, I used to take a bus and a train to work. I used to have to get on the red line, bro, from 87th Street to downtown. Man, bro.
Do you think, now I know you do, we're about management skills. Do you think people understand how to actually manage people?
No.
Because that's one, they're not going to be taking that, but do you think that's something that they have no concept of until they have like 6 people and then
a lot of people don't. Oops. A lot of people don't. I was talking to somebody in the Discord earlier. Just not, he's gonna get better because we're working with him, me and Moving Company Hustle. He's very appreciative, but you got to know how to deal with people from different walks of life. Like running a moving company in Chicago is gonna be different than running a moving company, let's say like in Denver. Running a moving company in Chicago is gonna be different from running a moving company in, let's say, New York. Running a moving company in Chicago is gonna be different from running a moving company in Atlanta. It's a different culture here. The type of people that do this type of work here come from a certain walk of life, and there's things that come with that. So a person who may not know how to deal with certain types of individuals will have a hard time managing those types of people. So it's not just the people. Sometimes it's a little bit deeper than that. Managing people, let's say in moving, is different than managing people in the restaurant industry. You got a different type of person, but you also dealing with people who come from a different walk of life. and you may have to use certain tactics to get shit done. And if you're not good at knowing how to finesse situations, or I'm gonna use a word and some people may disagree with it, but I can tell that they probably have never been in management. Sometimes you got to know how to manipulate people into doing what you need them to do. It could be as
Absolutely.
simple as, man, I need you to do this for me, and I know, I know I've asked you to stay over 2 days in a row, but as soon as I get an opportunity to look out for you, I will. It could be something as simple as that. It could be something that's just, you know, man, and you know what? I appreciate, everything you're doing. You're probably one of the best workers I got. It could be something as simple as just telling them something nice to get them to do what you want to do. You may not even think that. But if I gotta say, yo, you've been doing a really good work, man. I really appreciate. I'm gassing you up because later on in the day, man, I know I gotta ask a favor. So let me gas this person up to now, and hit them with it 4 hours from now. See, she don't know we had 2 call offs the next shift. They called off early, so we short the next shift. So I got 4 more hours to gas her up before I hit her with it. You see what I'm saying? Now it's going to be hard for her or him to say no because I've been flowering them with just compliments and just boosting their morale. This is something that I learned to do, and it works.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's like a manipulative tactic, but not. I mean, it's ethical. But you know what I'm saying? You got to do what you got to do to get shit done. If I'm managing like say like a cheesecake factory, a Grand Lux Cafe, and it's a Friday night and I'm short staffed and I need somebody to stay over, I gotta do what I gotta do. I'm a manager. I'm probably salary and I get bonuses. So now I'm incentivized to, man, I need this. I don't need people. I need these people to be at these tables. So I need bodies here so that whatever that turnaround time is, once this waiter or waitress take this order, that food is coming out. So if I gotta finesse this person and give them compliments and Sean say keep up the good work and shit for 4 hours because I know the next 4 hours I'm gonna have to lean on them and ask them to stay an extra 4 hours. I need them to run 12 today, then that's what I gotta do. And I think a lot of people, when I listen to them in some of these calls, when they come in the Discord, when they come up here, they ain't got that shit.
Mark, I'm never going to manipulate any of my employees. I'm never going to have to do that. What do you say to that person?
And then that's gonna be a person. Let's say in this scenario, yo, can you stay an extra 4 hours? No, I gotta get home.
Yeah.
So now you got a restaurant where people have been sat. They've been sitting at the table for. I've been to restaurants where I've sat at the table for 30 minutes and they ain't even brought me no water, no bread. It's obviously short staffed. Could that have been prevented? Maybe, maybe not. It all depends on the management. Might have been a manager that didn't know how to get people from the previous shift to stay over. Maybe they didn't even ask them. Maybe they didn't know how to ask them. Maybe they didn't coerce them enough. I've had to do things to get people to do things, bro.
And what about time? Was there ever times, and it might not have been, where you have a truck that has to go out, but you don't have a crew to get it out there. Now you got to get on the truck.
No,
Does
well,
somebody?
the pandemic is when I had to come back out. I've never, like, during 2013 when I came off, 2012, 2013 when I came off to 2020, nah, never really had that issue. Always had more than enough people. And then you gotta understand, like, that wasn't the culture then to not come to work. People weren't trying to miss work.
Yeah.
So the
What's
culture
the culture?
now is you gotta keep your fingers crossed. Like, man, I hope everybody come. Like, that wasn't the culture then. Like, I had people that, like, I was talking to this guy earlier in the Discord. I had people that said, man, don't schedule me off. I'll let you know when I need a day off. I had
Okay.
people that, you know what I'm saying? You don't get that now. I had a guy that was getting married. He said, look, I'm having a destination wedding in the summer and I still got to get the ring. Mark, I need every day you can give me. I will tell you when I need to take a day off. I don't care how much, man. Send me everything. To hear that today, far and few between, probably.
Yeah, I literally got that today. I took today off, and then because I didn't know how long it was going to take, and then I was able to come back, and I got back here at 2 o'clock, and I worked here from 2 till 8 o'clock at night, and I had to call, and dude, you said you took off today. I'm like, well, I don't know how to take the day off, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at taking the day off. So I just need a couple hours off, I guess. So I'm still
Yeah.
working 2 to 8, and I was still selling insurance until 8, technically. And then until I clicked into the link here. But that, and that's another thing that I don't think new. And I'm trying to do a show because I hear so many people and they want to do this and they want to hire 8, 9, 10, 15 guys. And they're like, oh, I got all this, I got this. And they have no idea how difficult it is to orchestrate, babysit, give therapy, this 30 guys. They have no idea how difficult that is. And they just think that all these guys are just going to fall in line like it's boot camp. It's not.
Not.
It's not. And it's like and I know you used the word manipulate, but even then it's like,
I mean, I know it's a word and somebody seen in the chat, but you know, I try to think of a better word. But if I need something done and I gotta shower you with things to boost your morale for something that I knew 4 or 5 hours earlier that I was going to ask you instead of just ask you 4 or 5 hours earlier, where the likelihood of you telling me no was higher, then I'm going to wait, put you in a certain type of situation after I boost your morale to get this shit done, bro. I got a business to run. And if I got to do that, you might not do it. I don't think it's not. I just boosted your morale. I just showered you with a bunch of, man, you killing it today. You killing it. It's not genuine. People do it all the time.
True.
This is I've seen this when I was in retail.
Yeah.
And that's where I picked it up from. This is not something I learned in school. This is something I picked up from on-job experience.
Right.
I'm just straightforward in telling you what it actually is.
Right.
You're killing it. You're crushing it. That's what they say nowadays. You're crushing it. Man, they don't mean it. Shit is to just keep your morale boosted. That's what it's for. It's a morale booster.
True. Yeah, this is management skills. This is management skills,
And
to be honest.
don't have it. A lot of the guys don't have it because they never work. Like a lot of people now that come straight into business because of this business culture, they never worked a job. I credit a lot of this shit from the management side from working in retail at those corporate retail facilities. All my management came from the Gap and Target. So understanding how to boost morale, you think, man, I remember one time I'm a manager, the general manager, I know she didn't like me. She asked me to go push carts. Cart attendant didn't show up. Man, she was testing to see if I was going to do that shit.
Yeah.
I'm a home manager. Well, we can't take nobody off the register, so we got to pull somebody out the stock room, and we don't want to stop the productivity of your stock associates, so can you just go push the cart? I already knew what it was, bro. It was a tactic not to boost my morale, to let me know, like, to try to lower it, if anything. But the point that I'm trying to make is, I learned these tactics from working jobs.
Yeah.
I know they would wait to the end of the day to ask you to stay late. They already knew they needed a person to stay late earlier. I don't wonder you've been kissing my ass all day. So,
And I think that's a big thing too. I don't think people know that you're going to have to ask your employees to do shit that you know they don't want to do, and you're going to need to get it done so that you
well,
can stay in business.
well, in this
And
industry, they got to know that you're willing to do it. So a lot of this stuff that I've had people do, one, it was easy because they know I'm willing to do it. Like those guys that were around the early days, they know I'm not turning nothing down. If it's on the table, I'm coming to get it. I don't care how long we've been out. It's been times where I was pulling up, finna park, and got one of them calls and had to turn around and go way back on the other side of town. So people will be more willing to do something for you that they know that you'll do. Right.
you're right.
And then two, you have to run a ship where, look, this is a business, and when opportunities present themselves, like we gotta take advantage of them. Like, I'm not really trying to hear all that extra shit. We need to go
Yeah.
get that. We need to go get that. I'm gonna incentivize you for staying out late. Now, if you're not willing to do it, then I'm gonna find somebody that will, and I'm gonna give you a week off to think about it. So that next time, if this situation gets presented, maybe you'll make the right decision next time.
Right.
I'm not trying to be out here, forever. And see, because some people think shit lasts forever, and I think a lot of people now don't think that. I'm trying to get as much as I can and appropriate into other things. Now, I'm not trying to leave nothing on the table. If there's an opportunity and it's being presented and I have the resources and I can get it done, I'm gonna get it done. I'm
Mhm.
not passing up nothing. If you're presenting something to me and it's there, I have to get that. And if I need people to assist with me in getting that, then that's what I need. I need you to go do that. You got 3 guys on the truck. You willing? Them 2 guys saying they gonna go do it. So what? All right, do me a favor. Pull the truck over. Just no, stop. Pull it over. I'm on my way. I'm gonna go park my shit. I'm gonna come park my shit and get on that truck, and I'm gonna go get that money. No, Mark, come on, man. Man, pull my shit over, bro. This person saying, listen, they got stood up. They willing to pay a premium right now. My other trucks is they still working. Y'all done. Y'all on the way back, man. Pull my shit over, bro. So
So what would you like if somebody was coming in again, not business oriented, people oriented? What would be one of the recommendations you would tell a new business owners that were looking to have 10, 15, 20 people, whatever? I mean, to that size. People oriented. What would you tell them? What would you give them a recommendation?
as far as what people oriented, like what am I giving them a recommendation to do?
Regards to, hey, I want to hire 20 people. I can't wait to have 20 people working for him.
You just don't hire 20 people. Like it don't work like that. You gotta build and grow up to that. You gotta have the business. Like you can't, like if you don't have enough work to keep 20 people employed, then you don't need 20 people. And see, looking at it like that is the wrong way. You got to get the business coming in.
But they do
20
look at
people,
like that.
listen, 20 people looks good. A bunch of
Yeah.
trucks look good, but you have to build a business to get to that point to keep those trucks rolling and to keep them people employed, because 20 people without that you don't have enough work, then you're not going to have 20 people for long.
Because I hear it all the time, bro. I hear it all the time. I'm going to have 20 people. Like,
You know
do you,
why?
do you,
Because it looks good for people. People just want the look, but it's work associated with getting to that point. That's what people should be focusing on. But here's the thing, a lot of people that want that couldn't maintain it. They probably wouldn't be able to sustain it. It's a lot that comes along with that, bro. A lot of sacrifice, a lot of, just a lot of, like you have to deal with 20 personalities. And, it's not easy. This ain't like retail. This ain't like, some form of hospitality, like, let's say, like the hotel industry, where people are a little bit more chill. In these industries that we're talking about, like, these people are from rougher, background, right? And, there's a chip on their shoulder. And then they doing work that's very hard labor. And some of
Yeah.
these jobs can become frustrating. Imagine, a person who has, who may be downsizing, but they got furniture from the previous place where it was maybe lofted, open floor plan, plenty of room, so they had bigger furniture. But then this economy hits them, and they got to downsize to another, let's say like a 1 bedroom, but maybe it's a 30-story walk up. But they got furniture that was more fitting for a loft that they're trying to move into a 1 bedroom on the 3rd floor. So now these guys are having to deal with a long, oversized couch getting up 3 flights of stairs with tight turns, and it's frustrating. They're trying not to damage, they're not trying not to scratch the wall, shit like that. Or a customer who's moving out of a walk up or out of a place, and then they're moving into a high rise, but this is an older high rise where they don't have the new freight elevators. They got an old freight elevator. They get this long 92-inch couch, and it don't fit on the freight elevator. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
Then the customer says something like, "Well, can you guys take the stairs?" And they live on the 46th floor. They just say
Yeah.
it like, they say, "Hey, well, what's the requirements? Well, what happens if it doesn't fit? Is the stairs an option? If the stairs are an option, what's the price that's associated with?" That would be the more respectful way to say, but you'll have people that'll say some shit like that, and these guys are already frustrated. Now they're really frustrated. Now, if we give them a price and they go for it, now that's a frustrating 46 flights.
Yeah.
I've had teams that have got frustrated and had words back and forth. And then what happens when people get frustrated in this
Shit gets
industry?
shit gets broke.
Mistakes happen.
Mistakes happen.
So
No, I think that you've had, like I said, I haven't had as many people as you. I've had 3 drivers. I had 3 agents at once, so it'd be 6, and then technically me and my wife would make 8, but technically it was
mhm,
I've had some situations. I've had again, mine was over the road.
mhm,
I had my drivers in my truck hauling my freight from my customer.
mhm,
Damaged load, a fiberglass tank. He told me that a car pulled out. Our tanks are shipped on saddles. They're like wood saddles, and they're fiberglass tanks. They're round, and they sit on the saddles so that they're off the deck.
mhm,
And it was 15 foot tall on the ground, 16.6 on the trailer. And he got to the customer, and he said a car pulled out in front of him. He slammed the brakes off. The load shifted, and the tank fell off the saddles and
mhm,
hit the deck, damaged the tank. I'm like, well, you're 5 miles from the customer. Take it into the customer, tell them about the damage, and we'll decide, if they want to receive it or not. We'll, decide if we have to bring it back or not.
mhm,
Phone call from the receiver, and the receiver says, "I got it. Car pulled out in front of them. I see the damage on the bottom of the tank." And they call me, and how did the top of the tank get damaged? I'm
mhm,
like, "What top of the tank? What are you talking about? I was never told by top of the tank." He's like, "The top of the tank is smashed." And like the very top, like 16 foot in the air. Yeah. Let me talk to the driver. And he's like, "I don't know. I don't know. I got smashed." 2 days later, I get a YouTube video from the shipper saying, "Hey, is this our tank stuck underneath this bridge in Memphis, Tennessee?" And
mhm,
I'm like, and it was. And I'm like, son of a bitch. And I went to the driver, and I sent him the link. I'm like, "Yeah, you want to tell me about this? That's not me." I'm like, "Bro, that's the name of my company on the side of the truck. That's
mhm,
not me. That's you letting the air out of the tires. That's not
mhm,
me. That's my customer's name of the fiberglass tank on the side of the tank.
mhm,
That's not me." Just straight out lie, straight out. Just wouldn't admit to it.
mhm,
Wouldn't admit. Um, Shit like that happened to me once.
mhm,
Uh, but it's just that straight out kept lying. Wasn't even like, "Ah, shit, you caught me."
Mhm,
Still, I mean, I fired him,
mhm.
but I don't think people realize that it's difficult. Just hearing some of your stories, um, and probably some of the stuff that the fights and, you were at least respected enough that your crew took care of you, I would think also, most of the time until they got jealous, you know what I mean? You would
Mm,
say that
I wouldn't
the
say
crew
they
was
necessarily
asleep.
you see, me, I'm gonna be straightforward. It was not necessarily for me, it was for them. See, when you're in an industry that where you can still walk away with $100+ a
Oh,
day
right,
in
right.
tips,
Yeah.
you are being incentivized outside of just the training and just you're supposed to be do this anyway to do a good job because the better you do, the more they're gonna tip you. Some of these people were good tippers. They might do 2 or 3 jobs, and if they can average $50 a job per man, that's good. So yeah, there's customers that tip $100 a man. There's customers that tip a couple $100 a man. It all depends. So they're doing it more for them. We gonna always call it what it is, man. People out for themselves. It's just in this industry, they incentivized to go above and beyond because the customers incentivizing them as well.
Right, I didn't think that. Yeah, because I forgot about the tips. I forgot about the tips.
Hmm.
But even but they didn't wanna lose their job too, because if they vouch for somebody and they vouch for somebody to you and that person was not a good person,
Yeah,
they're both
that's when
they're
it
both
meant something. Yeah, that's when that meant something. That doesn't mean anything today.
No, I agree with that statement.
Back then that meant something to refer. I remember when I was started working at my first job, and I had friends that wanted me to give them a referral to the Gap. My OG always said, "Man, don't never refer nobody where you work at because if they get in there and mess up, it's going to be a reflection on you." So I think out of my years there, I had one buddy that I referred, but I referred because he knew he worked third shift and he was looking for a second job, and he came and he did his job, and I knew he was going to do his job because he had a strong work ethic at his current job. He just wanted a second job. So, but then I'm not going to refer nobody that I know going to come in there and make me look bad. You see what I'm saying? So me personally. But yeah. So back then, when you referred somebody, that meant something. You didn't have to tell a person to not refer somebody that was going to come in and make them look bad because that's just something that was known that didn't need to be explained. Everybody understood that back then because that meant something. That shit don't mean nothing today.
That's a good point too. I didn't even think that because I'm the same way you are. Like, because I tell you straight up, bro, I ain't referring you. You're gonna get me fired. You
Hmm.
you 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 can't cut it here. I'll tell you straight up. But no, you're right. It ain't the same anymore. But no, I just think that there's a lot, and I know a lot of guys want to, and they should have the drive to want to succeed, right? But I just don't think they think everything through altogether in regards to not. It's not just the business sense. It's not just knowing the business,
Hmm.
bro. It's knowing how to manage people and understand people have problems, and those problems will come back to you. Like I say it all the time. I tell brokers all the time, a driver will get you fired. A driver will lose you a customer. A driver will lose you your first customer. I guarantee it. Because
Driver
it
get you.
lost a customer, it's been a driver.
Yeah, a driver will lose you your business. Two of my biggest fears I talk about all the time was floor damage and the driver hitting somebody. Being in a populated city and having trucks in and around downtown, you got people running on the streets, you got bikers, these bicyclists and these bike lanes and shit, and you're making a right turn there in your blind spot. That shit always worried me because and it happens, people get hit here all the time. Like, you'll go around the city and you'll just see a white painted bike chained to a pole. You may not know what that means. That means somebody got killed in this intersection on that bike. It's called a ghost bike, and this is like the memorial for it. They'll paint the bike white and chain it to the pole, and you'll see them all over the city. You'll see them downtown on the north side. That's a ghost bike. Bikers get killed here all the time.
I bet joggers, headphones and stuff don't even hear the truck. That's dangerous.
All that. So, it's you have to be aware, but and you can train, but you're not out there. You're not out there. So only thing you can do is pray and keep your fingers crossed, but shit happens. So, you hit somebody, one of your trucks hit somebody, then
You're hearing from the lawyers.
God help you.
So I do appreciate this for me because I just want people to realize that it's not always the business that will make you not succeed too. It's when you do become good at the business, if you're not thinking about the handling your employees and handling your crew and handling the personalities of your crew, that could get you could lose your business just as quick.
Yeah, a lot of personalities, and that's not something I miss. The people is what, I don't miss that. I don't miss that. I'll never deal with that type of. That was the biggest thing, man. Dealing with the people, dealing with the kind of people, just the mindset. I don't miss that, bro. It was very,
You went
and doing it. My OG was really happy when I told her I was,
done
retiring. Yeah, she was happy, bro, because she would stop up there. It was in the neighborhood still. The warehouse was in the neighborhood. So 2014 she retired. So 2014 is when I got the office. So when she's running her errands, she'll stop by because me and my brother up there, and she'll people show respect when she was up there, ma'am and stuff. But she she can you can see it. She knew what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So some of the situations that happen, so yeah, you dealing with roguish, some people gonna be roguish. I gotta get what I gotta get. They gotta get what they gotta get, but that don't mean they ain't roguish. You know what I'm saying? So
and some of the people you went through in the Discord earlier, I was kind of listening to. You went through some of the people that are I believe I don't know how many, but I know one is no longer with us. You mentioned it here too. But some of the people are jail again. I think you said, or has some mental issues.
Jail. Some people are dead, got killed. Some people are okay. Some people are truckers. Some people, you know what I'm saying. So everybody, people go different directions.
Right. So yeah, I could definitely see it, but I just think that it's more than I think. I just want people to realize that it's not easy having employees, or it's not easy, but it's another aspect that you better learn how to handle, because if you don't, you're doomed. You're doomed.
Yeah, and everybody, that differs from market and just industry. You know what I'm saying? So some industries dealing with people may be easier than other industries. So but yeah, people is definitely something that you need, and especially in this industry, you want to grow.
One of the things that you don't get props for also is that, okay, yeah, Mark Mentor, he's great at business. He did this, and he had college. He was able to do this with college. But there's aspects of this business that college didn't fucking teach you that you were able to handle. And I don't think people realize that it's more than, okay, yeah, college taught you some of this, and then experience in being at the Gap and Target and the other places taught you some of the business aspect of it. But there was no college course in this type of management of people. That was there?
No.
Do you remember any?
No, there's no college course that you have business management, right? But it doesn't. Those courses don't teach you how to manage people from, let's say, this walk of life, or how do you coexist GDs and Blackstones, or GDs and Vice Lords, and how do you get these people from different walks of life to coexist because, or how do you get this guy who's older to, take direction from somebody that's 10 years younger than him? How do you take this guy that's institutionalized who is having a hard time, getting an opportunity out here in the world, and I'm giving him an opportunity, and losing that mindset of where he's spent the last 10 years and just, man, I just need you to be cool and just listen to this young brother and just do what he tell you to do. How do you, it doesn't teach you how to, I remember I had this guy, I ain't gonna say his name, but he broke a window pane. Stupid break. He could have prevented it. All right. I went, did the measurement myself. You break it, you bought it. This is something could prevent. I'm not covering it. You're gonna pay for this. Because it was stupid. I went and measured it. I went to Smith Glass on 87th and Cottage. I mean, not 87th and Cottage, 87th and Halsted for them to cut the glass. They cut glass there. And I took it out of his check. Man, that dude wanted to go to war over that $50. He wanted to go to war over that $50. Man, he wanted to go to war. Why? Because his mindset is street. Man, you took $50 out of my check. Bro, you already know this is what it is. You knew that coming here. So don't try to do that shit now.
Yeah.
He trying to stand on business over $50. Like, I hold him, bro. This ain't the street. This is business. You already knew it. You broke it. So you gonna break glass, a window pane. It was just like a little, maybe like that. I did the measurements, went up to Smith. $50. Man, he wasn't trying to hit none of that shit. He was ready to go to war. He was ready to take it to the street. $50, bro. He on folk car hustler, man. All this shit. $50, bro.
Yeah.
So it went from like, no, I don't teach you that, bro. And like, I like that shit, bro. That shit. Like, thinking back now as an older man, like it was, we did it, but bro, ain't like, man, ain't no course teaching you how to deal with that. If you don't know how to handle that and shit,
You're doomed.
Yeah.
You're doomed. And I think that's because, like I said, a lot of people come in and say, "Oh, he's got college, he does this and this." He throws that in your face. This ain't college.
That
It ain't college.
Do that, bro. It ain't like, this shit ain't gonna. No. You gotta know. That shit ain't gonna teach you that shit, bro. So
that's an aspect. So
yeah.
So I do appreciate you doing this interview portion also. Like I said, I don't want to do any names there and get in trouble. It's not over $50, but I'm glad I was able to, put this out here too, because I think this is also knowledge people need to have, because it's not as easy as you think. It's not as easy as you think.
It's not easy at all. It's not easy at all, bro. So only, and that's why, a lot of people, when they come into business, they don't make it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's the people that can go above and beyond and can stomach certain things and can be ruthless or shrewd, and that can accelerate, bro. And that's just what it is. So, yep.
Yeah. That's where, like I said, I've had issues. I've had a driver talk with some of my customers. If you give a quote, doesn't matter if it comes from the driver, doesn't matter who it comes from. If you give a quote, you have to stand by the price, even if it's verbal. And I've had a driver, shipper walk up and, "Hey, how much to move this here to here?" "Oh, about this much."
Mm-hmm.
And I was held, the driver, they sent me an email saying, "Your driver confirmed that this quote from here to here, and this is the price."
Mm-hmm.
And he was so far off, so far off on the price, but I had to stick to the price.
Mm-hmm.
He factored the truck, but he never factored police and buckets and a survey,
Mm-hmm.
which I had to take that money out of his paycheck, and he was not happy about that. But that ended up being like $5,000 on top of that. But
Mm-hmm.
it's stuff like that. It's little stuff that what are you going to do if your driver does something or says something, and you're paying that money to keep your customer, or you're going to lose your customer. And I don't think people that a driver will lose you a customer, or you lose your business, like you said.
Yeah. Yeah.
The things that business owners have to also handle on top of the business.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
But I know I did have like I said, I can only go, well, it's 11 my time, 10 your time.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if there's anybody in the chat that wanted to ask anything, but I'm hoping I did decent asking you the question. I know I got through what I wanted to ask you and not put anybody in, any type of, criminal situation.
No, it's not a
But
crazy thing, but things. I mean, this is moving in final mile. These is a lot of testosterone. So yeah, it was gonna be fights. I'm not gonna like talk about some of the fights, and I mean I get
no, just,
one, but
yeah,
but there are fights, of course. Of course. Bro. This is Chicago, bro.
no. You do know I'm from Buffalo, New York,
People
right?
just it's a cloud over this city. Everybody here is demons, bro. So you know
Well,
what I'm
that's
saying? So it's
true.
just, it's yeah, it's just shit. Everybody here is hothead, is so, and they quick to, you know, just, you could just say the wrong thing and they quick to go there. It's 0 to 1,000. So, yeah, obviously if you got guys that are doing very labor intensive work on a hot day, and there's gonna be just some disputes and frustration, and it's gonna, where it may not go from 0 to 100 somewhere else. It's just in the culture of this city, man, that shit can go 0 to 100 over you looking at
Yeah,
them. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, so in this situation, yeah, hey man, I told you, man, grab the bottom, man. Who you talking to, man? Grab the motherfucking bottom. You know what I'm saying? It could be as simple as that. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? So yeah, yeah. You saw what happened with them kids yesterday in Chicago, right?
Which one? Chicago's not in my
The
algorithm, so
kids
I might
that,
not
that
have.
kids that jumped on that lady who had sickle cell and and her son. She was walking him home from school, and about 20 kids, mob action, just started fighting the mom and the kid that they had been bullying.
No, I saw ICE rip out
You
a.
don't look at it. I thought it made national news because I mean it's all over my timeline for the past 2 days.
But your
But
timeline, awesome
but
on my time. So my
but
timeline
go
different.
ahead.
Our timelines are different. You saw some of my timeline, remember?
Yeah, but I'm just gonna prove a point as far as like what I'm saying, the mindset. So these
Mm,
kids jumped on this mother who has sickle cell, totally disrespectful, jumped on the kid, the son. It was sad, bro. Like my eyes started to water when I saw this shit. You dig what I'm saying? So the city owned that with them kids. These are kids. They was bogus. They some little heathens. And they parents ain't taught them shit because ain't never like you should know better as a kid than to even raise your hand in an adult. But it's people on Facebook, they looking for the parents and they own that with the kids.
yeah.
And when I say they own that with the kids, they're in the comment section on their Facebook page, like own that. And people haven't said, yo, these is kids. Man, they own that with them.
Mm,
So when I say, yo, it is a culture of like a demonic spirit that any opportunity you can get to just go 0 to 100, people own that. And here's a situation where those kids, they was bogus. It was Bodine. They were wrong. So on and so forth. Yeah, somebody need to be held accountable, whether it's the kids, man, the girl who swung first, man, she need to be held accountable. The parents need to be held accountable. But it's people in these comment sections and vocalizing themselves and doing live streams like, yo, we own that with them kids. We ain't for none. Whoa, these are kids. You see what I'm saying? So imagine grown ass men.
Yeah, no. I get it.
So, you got to be careful.
Somebody asked Mark, how many chances did you give certain individuals while you were building, not established?
Man, I didn't fire nobody. Didn't fire nobody.
Didn't need to.
During the building process, let me see, you had Aaron. Aaron didn't really fuck up. Dre, KT. So in the early days, the early crew of 3 guys, yeah, Sean, both Sean.
Well, go just because
40, Headley. Like these guys in the early days, they was really, if I had to compare them to an era of the Bulls.
Oh, Lord.
Those 2011, 12, 13 was like 91, 92, 93 Bulls. Them guys was them early guys like Dre, KT, Headley, 40, both Sean's, Shrewd. And like all these guys was just killers, bro. It was just cold with the movement. And then when I started doing the final mount, it was just an easy transition for me to transition some of them guys. You know what I'm saying? So like these guys never really gave me a hard time. Like they was just cold with it. So no, I'm doing that period. These are the guys that helped me grow at a good pace. So no, I didn't have to get rid of nobody.
Because I had the same old school drivers when I first started moving for OD freight. I had old school drivers that they helped me. You know what I mean? They knew their shit and helped me learn mine. Same now, I can't. It's hard to find that. I can't find drivers. It's very difficult for me to find new drivers.
There's people out there. It's just the mindset has shifted, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like the mindset that existed then doesn't exist now, and I attribute a lot of it just to the culture, the way culture and the workspace has changed. I blame a lot of it on the gig economy. I think that has made people lazy. I think that's made them think that they were like business people. You know what I'm saying? This gave them a sense of like, I'm a business person. Shut up. No, you're not. You're a gig. You're a gigger. You dig what I'm saying?
Shut.
So,
oh God, sorry.
So, yeah, man. Yep. So,
I'm gonna duck out of here. But then
I'm not gonna just be. You said what?
I'm gonna duck out of here. I've been up here since like 4 a.m.
All right, man. So, I don't know. Do I say I appreciate you or something? Like, thanks.
You don't have to lie and say you appreciate me.
I mean, you wanted to do this, so that's what I'm saying. Is this? Do I say that to you, or do you say it to me? Like,
listen, I appreciate you doing the interview. I've already said that. I've already said that to you. I appreciate you doing the interview and allowing me to ask these questions and put this out there. So you don't have to say it to me. No, of course not. What the hell's going on here?
All right.
Jesus, what the hell?
I didn't know because I'm like, well, you asked me to do this, so do I thank you or do you thank me? You know what I'm saying?
No,
that's how the show probably should end. Like,
the interview goes. I asked you to do the interview. I thank you for taking the time out of your day, your night to do the interview that I wanted to do. I'm thanking you. That's my job.
Okay, all right. So then I'll just say, man, no problem. Anytime.
Listen,
anytime.
There you go. Perfect. Anytime. See?
All right.
See, here I am. I'm doing proper interview etiquette. I'm out of here.
Just confused. Am I thanking him or he's supposed to thank me, right? Okay. All right. Well, cool.
Bro.
No problem. Anytime, Sage.
Okay, go. Nailed it. First time.
All right, man. I'm out. Peace.
Bye-bye.
All right, later.